How's it going? I'm in the forest and I've come across a really amazing wild medicinal mushroom that's called turkey tail mushroom. Now it's also known as Trametes versicolor, or you may know it by its old name, Coriolis. Now, like many of the great medicinal mushrooms, turkey tail is absolutely loaded with those complex long-chain polysaccharide sugars which give it that really amazing immune modulatory property. Now, like many of the tree polypores as well, the porous underside of this mushroom is very rich in a compound called ergosterol, which, if you harvest these mushrooms wild and take them home and dry them out in direct sunlight with the porous underside facing upwards, so you kind of turn them upside down, and in direct sunlight, and the UV contact on the pores of the mushroom will convert the ergosterol into vitamin D2, which is a really interesting nutritional fact about these mushrooms. Now, aside from the immune modulatory properties, they're also very anti-tumor and antiviral, and they contain a lot of antioxidants, and they're also very antibacterial, but not in a kind of general sense where they're going to wipe out the beneficial bacteria in your intestines, or it's not like that at all. That antibacterial property is really reserved for invading pathogenic bacteria. Hang on a sec, I'm just going to try and balance my camera on one of these mushrooms. Okay, hopefully it'll stay there. So, yeah, another really interesting fact about these mushrooms is that they're a very rich source of something called PSK, which is a kind of protein-bound polysaccharide. And PSK has been approved by the pharmaceutical industry as an anti-cancer drug, and a very effective one at that. So this is a kind of not so common case with turkey tail where we can talk totally openly about this natural medicine having potent anti-cancer properties. Normally there's a lot of red tape and legalities surrounding, you know, us being able to just openly talk about that. I mean, it's really a load of nonsense, to be honest, but that's the way it is. But as is the case with this mushroom, it's already been approved by the pharmaceutical industry, so, you know, thanks to them, we can talk openly about its properties in the area of cancer, or, you know, its antiviral properties concerning things like HIV. Now, regarding tumors, turkey tail has a kind of 1-2 punch mechanism in the way that it deals with them, because it inhibits tumor growth and stops or at least inhibits to a large degree the growth of the tumor, but then it also enhances the immune response so that the immune system is better able to destroy the tumor. So it inhibits the growth and then comes in and destroys it. That's basically how it works regarding tumors. It's been shown to have very successful testimonies with people undergoing chemotherapy as well, because it tends to protect the healthy cells from the exposure to the radiation while allowing the tumor cells to be destroyed by the radiation. And in fact, it helps the chemo to actually destroy the tumor cells. So there's been a lot of really good results in people using turkey tail in conjunction with that kind of conventional treatment. And there's also been some incredibly impressive results with HIV patients who have been using turkey tail, because it kind of has that double 1-2 punch action again. It inhibits the replication of the HIV virus, and at the same time enhances the immune system so that it can come in and take care of business. So, you know, those are some interesting facts about turkey tail, a bit of an intro to it. And, you know, while I'm making this video, I'll tell you the quick story about how I found these mushrooms. Now, I was riding my bike through the forest, which is here where I live, a couple of days ago, and I set my intention to really find some really good medicinal mushrooms that I could take home and make medicine with. And I'd been through the woods off-roading it for, a couple of hours. It was quite late in the afternoon. I'd found a lot of birch polypores, literally hundreds of them, but every single one of them was kind of rotting. It was really past its prime. Obviously they still have a role to play in the ecosystem, but as far as their medicinal value, I mean, they were spent, really. So after a while of looking, and that was all I could really find, and I was losing daylight, the sun was going down, and I decided that I'd pretty much have to call it a day. So I got back on the road, started to head home, and after about maybe 10 minutes or so, I noticed some movement on the other side of the road in the trees, and I stopped to see what it was, and it was a herd of deer, about 25 or 30 deer, and they were all staring at me. So I stopped and I began to just watch them, and they all just ran across the road right in front of me, literally just a few meters away from me, and they climbed up the hill on the other side of the road, and they got halfway up, and then they stopped, and all of them turned around and were staring at me again. And I was just frozen, really, just watching them. And then they ran up the hill a bit more, and they got to the top of the hill, and then they stopped again, and they all stared at me. And I had the distinct sensation that they didn't want me to be with them, but they were almost extending some kind of invitation to follow them. That's really how it felt to me anyway, so that's exactly what I did. I just put my bike down and began to walk up the hill after them, and they ran up a bit further into the trees up here, and they stopped, and it was as if they were waiting for me to catch up with them a bit. So I would come a bit closer, and then they would move on a bit more, and then they would wait for me a bit further up, and they'd all be watching me. And as soon as I'd get closer again, they'd run ahead again, and I followed them like this for about maybe 10 minutes. And yeah, after about 10 minutes or so, I reached a point where they'd disappeared, and I didn't know which direction they'd gone in, so I couldn't really follow them anymore. So I'd kind of resigned to have to turn back. But it occurred to me while I was following them that perhaps they were going to show me what I was looking for. I was looking for natural medicine, in particular tree mushrooms. And yeah, it occurred to me that quite possibly they would show me, the deer would show me where the mushrooms were. But anyway, at the point that they disappeared, I hadn't really seen anything other than some more birch polypores that again were just totally past their best. So I just decided, okay, maybe it was all a bit hopeful, and I'll turn around and head back to my bike. And it was at that very moment that I turned around, and this was what was in front of me. Now it's my complete feeling and my experience that is exactly what happened, that the deer did lead me to this medicine. As crazy as that may sound to some people, I have really a kind of certainty that once you can open up enough to connect with your ecosystem, the ecosystem that you're in, once you can connect with the consciousness of the ecosystem, or not even just connect with it, but become part of it, actually acknowledge your role in the ecosystem as a non-invasive component of it. I think once you can kind of harmonize yourself with the ecosystem, then the intelligence of the ecosystem is made available to you. And it can express itself in many forms. Obviously, I was looking for amazing medicinal tree mushrooms, and I really did feel at peace that afternoon, walking through the woods, having a look around. I felt very connected to the environment that I was in, and yeah, I do believe that if you can consciously merge and connect with the ecosystem that you're in, then certain secrets of nature are available to you. They're shared with you, and in my case, it was the deer. The deer were the kind of intermediary. They were the deer are really the keepers of the forest in many respects, and you know, they shared the secret that I was looking for with me. It was really, for me, quite a profound experience. It was really quite moving, and I was very grateful, actually, to have been able to have that experience and be led to these incredible medicinal mushrooms. So I'm going to harvest some of these, and I'm going to take them home and make a tea with them. So please tune in again soon for that video, because I'm going to be making a really awesome healing tonic herbal tea of epic proportions. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, then please feel free, go ahead. You can keep updated, you know, stay in the loop with more videos like this, or like the one I'm going to do soon on the amazing healing tea that I'm going to make. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.